So I just wanted to say, too often times we're presented with the world's problems, but it's rare to ever really hear any solutions. You know what I mean? And I think that's where we need to head, is towards trying to figure a solution out to, the woes of the world. And so I hope I can present some, the way that I see it, at least. Um, I really think what's killing our society, what's really hurting our people, is this notion that you have to adhere to the beliefs, the ideology, the philosophy of a certain people. You know what I mean? To one viewpoint. You know what I mean? That okay, this is how life is presented to us. That this is like democracy, or the way that America might do it, as an example, or you could use any country. This is the only way that we can do this. This is the only way to live. Capitalism is the only way to do this. Socialism is the only way to do this, and so on. Communism and so forth, and that's just not true. I mean, how can you say that this way of life is the only way to live? Honestly, this country that I'm living in, that I was born in, that my family's, what I mean, this land is actually, the United States of America was set up as a republic in the first place, not a democracy. A democracy is mob rule. I feel that people should be able to live the way that they feel is best for them, and then there can really be no conflict in that, because you are making an agreement. Once you're old enough to agree that this is how I choose to live, this is the ideology that I choose to follow, there becomes no conflict, because there's not somebody telling you this is how you have to live, this is what you got to do. Then there's no conflict. See, the conflict comes into play when somebody else is trying to force their beliefs or their way of living on another man. You understand me? So, for example, if you got, let's say first of all, the solution of that there absolutely should not be any hunger in the world, period, because we are at a point in human history where we can afford to feed everybody. And by afford, once we eliminate money, because that is, it's cliche, but money is the root of not all evil, but a lot of evil. Most, if not all, maybe I'm wrong. But once you eliminate that factor, it opens up a huge possibilities. Man is ingenious. Man is inventive. Man is a builder. You know what I mean? We create. You can either create or destroy. And once we just realize that we need to just create, we have the like, for example, cars, we shoot them out. It only costs $500 to shoot them out, right? So instead of using machines against ourselves, we could use this to be able to create an abundant world. We can have robots that tend to crops and all this. Once you take land and ownership and all that out of the way, we can have an abundance of food. That eliminates that problem right there. I don't think people inherently, we don't want to just kill people for no reason. It's usually for some, back in the days, how we're built is for survival. People just don't wake up and say, yeah, I just feel like killing somebody just for the sake of killing somebody. There's usually a reason behind that. Most of the time, it's fucking money. It's money. You know what I'm saying? I don't have what you have, I'm gonna kill you for that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Once we eliminate that, then there's no jealousy, there's no envy, because everybody lives on an equal playing field. We all have access to the greatness of the land, to the abundance that we live in. You know what I'm saying? So once we have access to that, there's no reason for somebody to take another person's life. You can have a society of people who believe in this certain way, and you have the option that, you know what, I choose to, if you choose to believe in let's say Christ's ideology, or in Islam or whatnot like that, let's just say, for example, then you have that choice and that freedom to be over here. Let's say you set up a certain colony, like a tribe almost. Like, I don't see it this way, I see it this way. Okay, well, you have the free choice to go over there with these people who view it that way. You know what I'm saying? If you choose to live and say, you know what, then that eliminates guilt, because we're built up in a society. We're saying, like, it's bad to do drugs, it's bad to do this, it's bad to do that. Then you have this sense of guilt, even though it's not really inherently guilty. You know what I'm saying? If so, for example, if somebody chooses to live in this society, let's say in this country over here, where you have an agreement, a mutual agreement between a group of people and a way of life, there's no conflict because you are in agreement with that ideology. So if you live in a society, in a group of people where you guys are in agreement that, look, we choose to live off all the herbs off the land, we choose to smoke weed, we choose to do this, we choose to do that, this is how we choose to live. Where's there the conflict? On the flip side, I may not want to be around alcohol because I know the evilness and the anger and all these things that it stirs up. A lot of people drink because they're washing their problems away, because they're escaping this, whether it be money, bills, all the woes of society. Once the woes of society are eliminated, there's really not a lot of need for that type of thing, But if you choose to live in a society, let's say you have over here another group of people who choose to live in drunkenness, eventually they'll probably come to the conclusion, you know what, this isn't the way I want to live. And they're able to grow and learn themselves. I choose to live this way. We all have access to different ideology or different ways of living, and then we get to make those choices as a person. Why pass laws against, oh, this, you can't do this, you can't do that? If there's people out there who are, want to live in infidelity and be like swingers basically, then they have their own society set up to where they're all in a mutual agreement. So there's really no conflict, because that's how they choose to live. That's how they see life. You know what I'm saying? Let them do what they choose. If that's the way they choose to live, then that's their business. You know what I'm saying? And on the other side, there's a society that believes, we believe in monogamy and we believe in this and that. That's gonna be powerful too. Then bow. You're gonna have that society that lives by this way. You know what I mean? But you're not impeding on somebody else's life to be able to make their own choices, to be able to make their own mistakes, to be able to come to a conclusion based on their own experiences. You know what I mean? So if everybody was in agreement, what reason? And then another solution. Let's say, okay, well, Derek, how's society going to work? If I choose, let's say I love to build, I love to do construction. If that's what I choose to do, that's a career field that I can explore. There's a group of individuals, I don't need money, I don't need this. There's a group of individuals who love construction over here where I can learn from the best. I can learn everything I need to know about construction. Let's say you love engineering, or let's say you love just to plant and gardening. You don't have to limit yourself to one thing. You can go and be around like-minded people and learn from each other and enjoy doing what you're doing. If you want to heal people, then you have the option to go into that field and learn everything there is about healing. You know what I mean? And be able to, do that because that's what you want to do. You really want to heal people. Money is not involved in it. You know what I'm saying? And then imagine that. Imagine a society like that. Then you have the healers of society, and then you say, look, they love to do that. They learn from the best. They grow together, and then you're able to, have a world where all this is available to you. And I could go on and on, in other scenarios, who really, because healthcare, for example, it's a business, it's a for-profit industry. How could you really be caring about actually healing people? It's contradictory. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't have people in the healthcare that are in there. Oh, I'm only in healthcare because it fucking oh, excuse me, because it pays good. I'm in there because I want to help people. Once you take money out of the equation, then people are doing what they want to do, what their passion is. I want to do art. I want to do science. I want to do this. And you're gonna, when you do what you love, you're gonna love it more. And not that they're limited to one thing. Let's say, you know, you get to make your own itinerary. You love archaeology, then you're able to go. You know what I'm saying? Let's take racism for example too. Why should, if a man really does not want to be around another group of people for that whatever reason, you are forcing two groups of populations, like taking two enemies for example, right? Let's take white and black just as an example. If there's a group of Caucasian people who really do not want to be around this other people, why do we force them to be together? You are forcing them to, you know, to be together, when if you choose to let that, let's say that, and there's another part of society, they choose to be, they don't inherently really want to hurt these others, they just want to be able to live away from for whatever reason they might do that, you know what I mean? Then there's going to be no killing, no conflict, because they're living how they choose. That's what their choice. Maybe their son or daughter might grow up one day and have free will and say, you know what, I am attracted to this opposite side of the race. I get to choose the society that I want to live in. You know, then it's not forced upon you. If there's a group of people on the flip side of black people that said, look, I don't want to be around these people for whatever reason, then they have that choice. You know what I'm saying? Where's the conflict? You know what I'm saying? Then there is no conflict. People don't want to just kill people just for the sake of killing people. You know what I mean? There's reasons behind it. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's how society can grow. And then when you're living in this, let's say, place where you feel like, you know, this is where I feel I need to be. Maybe 5, 7, 8 years down the line, you're like, you know what? I see the holes in my own ideology. I want to move on. I need to go over here. You're able to see other ways of life, and then be able to say, look, wow, this society over here has really, this is the way, this is the light, this is how we should be doing it, you know. And you have that choice to be able to grow and expand, you know what I'm saying? Or you can regress. You know, if you want to be drunkards and you want to fight and you want to kill, then those people have the right. Who wants to live on an island where everybody likes to murder and fight and be against each other? For what reasons? There's always reasons behind that. Who would want to live? Who really would want to live like that? You know, if it's not over food or survival or this and that. You know, if a woman wants to be a whore, if that's really what she wants to be, she is inherently a whore, you know, or vice versa with the man and male whores. Then those people in that society, if they want to sell their bodies or do whatever, then there's just that aspect of the world where, you know, whore island or whore nation, whatever you want to call it, they can do that. You're not telling them this is wrong, you can't do this, you can't do that. They are in agreement with each other, you know. They call it free love, or, you know, see, even that term there. Maybe I choose to be a one-woman man, and that's my choice. I choose a society where there's monogamy, where there's no killing, where there's this. But we're in agreement on, basically, on ideology, and don't impede on one another to force. You have to be like this. You have to see the world my way. Because really, when you're able to explore and to be able to make your own mistakes and make your own decisions, ultimately it'll be greater for you, because then you'll be able to, you know, you'll be able to see it a different way. You're like, you know what, I really don't like living like this. I really don't like drinking every day, and it's bad for my health, and it does this to me. Then you get to, like, you know, learn yourself from your experiences. I don't see what the problem with what I'm saying is. How would there be war then? People are in agreement, and now we don't even have a choice. You're born into a nation, and they tell you, this is how you have to view life. This is what you have to do. We choose to go to war. You are complicit in it. Why are we going to war? What, money, territory? We are only here temporary. A man cannot own land. That's why I love native ideology. When I've said it before, you know, you have the buffalo, and it gives you, you know, a roof over your head, clothes on your back. You know what I'm saying? Food in your stomach. You know what I mean? Why would you need to? There's no need to be stressing off of renting and the payment and the bills and this and that. We have the technology where everybody can have electricity. It's because there's poor for-profit industries that want to be able to limit that, our productivity, to where you have to pay for it. That is what's killing us. We have the technology, we have the brain power to be able to make this an oasis, heaven on earth, really, because we truly are living in abundance. Everything is here for us. There can be no hunger. We can have a preserve set up where animals are free to roam and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Where there's no conflict in society because everybody is respected and everybody's able to make their own decisions and live accordingly to how they feel they should. Fast and let's say that we had a society like that. Fast forward 100, 200 years ago, people might elevate to a certain level to where, and then other people might see that like, wait a minute, if so many people are elevating towards this way of life, maybe this is where I need to be. Let me study what they're doing. Let me see how they're living their life. Let me experience it myself. Wow, this is empowering. This is how it should be. This is very enlightening. You know what I'm saying? Once we free up our time from this working all day, look at, and not having time to expand our mind, once we free ourselves from that, imagine how creative we can be. Imagine the other things that we can do. And everybody is doing, nothing's holding you back, whether you're poor or broke, to where you're able to go to school. Maybe the best minds that, I wanted to be a scientist, but he was too poor to go to school. Maybe that's the most brightest person in the world and could have some true, could cure this cancer or whatever, so to speak, or build a machine that takes us at, the light speed or something. We are limiting ourselves by, in that way. So this would be a way to empower humanity and be able to eliminate wars and who wants to live in a place, and then all those people, once we eliminate that, then the people who are evil and want to be greedy and evil, they can live on their own little area too. See how long that lasts. If you want to be greedy and evil and woo, see how long that really lasts, because that eliminates them from the equation. Once society comes to at least has a pathway to peace and a pathway to sharing the earth. People marking lines and creating division between countries or ideologies and geographic divisions and stuff like that. No, we can have a really prosperous society, a peaceful society, and we can really learn as a whole, as a people, and really come together and start to realize the power that we have, the beings that we're here. This is a lesson for us to be able to learn who we are, what is our purpose, you know what I'm saying? We can't get to that point if we're still at this level, at this stage. We're allowing people through fear and manipulation and brainwashing and aggression to dictate the way that we live, the way that we learn, the way that we experience this life. This has become a place of sorrows, a place of great suffering, and it really doesn't have to be that way. I could cite many examples. If I could go on and on with the what you want to be type stuff. Maybe I want to be a cook and I want to be a builder. I can have my own itinerary set up to where I can do these things. Money's not a problem because everybody's doing what it is that they want to do anyway. So it's in abundance. It's there for you. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody just wants to be a hunter. They provide that for society. It's a system of where we're all working together. See, we're all doing that kind of in a way, sort of like, the way we trade and do all this, you know what I mean? But we do it through money. We're doing it the wrong way. Once there's an abundance and you're doing what it is that you want to do, what you're passionate about, then you have that, you're able to barter with your skill, and you're able to, we take food out of the equation just because we know we have the technology to be able to do these things. People who love to plant and who love to germinate and who love to do this and that, they're able to live their life that way. People who love to sing. Why do you have to be envious of somebody? This person made it to the top, I didn't. This creates a teeter-totter effect. This person's so good. Then truly the best of the best in their field will come to rise. A person who is naturally just blessed with the talent of singing or dancing or whatever it might be, cooking, it'll speak for themselves. Everybody has something that they can do probably best. Look at the world. Isn't it amazing how there's billions of people on this planet, and literally nobody is the same. It's a beautiful thing that my personality, that this person's personality, it's all different. They will react differently to a situation. That's what makes us beautiful as a people, that we're different. We have so much that we have common ground on, and some things that we might differentiate. Why focus on what the difference is instead of on the common ground? There's common knowledge, common wisdom that we can build on. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for all this destructive behavior, you know, and they sell you these things like it's going to help. People offer false solutions, false way of living. This is the only way to do it, and I will, by force, you know, you have an empire that's killing people and force, for what? Resources, what? Because you're gonna live the way that we tell you to live, because you're gonna live under this economic system, because we say that exchanging money and being in debt and that this money system is the only way that there is the only path to prosperity. That is not true. Before the powers that be came over to the Americas, look at how the Native American people were living. And people will say, oh well, they were had wars and they what was it most likely over? The only time, maybe a little bit of territory here, but why territory? Because of hunting ground. So that, are you telling me that's the worst? Even that's the worst it was about, is about hunting ground? Well, we live in a time now where we don't have to worry about that. We can have an abundance of food. How is it that Africa is a place where is a great growing climate, yet there's people starving? Why? Because a man owns the land, that you're not allowed to plant this plant here. I own this over here. The government, for the United States, for example, I may be off on my fingers, but I'm pretty sure it's about 85% to 90% of the land is owned by the federal government, and the rest is there for what? Private ownership and for sale. Well, obviously that's going to create a scarcity problem. We are not living in scarcity. There is plenty of oxygen. There's plenty of food. Seeds can grow. This is set up for us to be like in a paradise. And I don't know how we got to this point in life. If you choose to be, either we can, and I'm not knocking any religion like that, but I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. We can wait for a savior. How many people have died waiting for somebody to come save you? We got to save ourselves. We have to save ourselves. We have to act as a whole, as a humanity, as a group of people. Have a meeting of the minds, and eventually we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. That's why I don't want to be a fearmonger or somebody who, and of course at times I felt like, that the only way to be able to do this was by brute force, but really it starts right here in the mind. If we can come to a agreement, if we can start the revolution here in the mind, then that is way more powerful. Because there's power in numbers, but if people are starting to think like this and get on this path, it's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to prosperity, to living in abundance, to no more tears, no more pain. Love, being able to live in a society to where there doesn't have to be all this. I don't have to force my beliefs on you. You get to choose that. You know what I mean? And eventually I could see to where everybody would come to a pyramid, like to a place of where we're in a consensus as a whole, as a species. You know what I'm saying? Really, it can happen. We just, we have to have this conversation and really be honest with ourselves and really recognize the problem. If you live in a society like I was explaining how the Native Americans used to live, or you can live in a place where there's the have and then the have-nots. That's what's killing us right now, is because certain people want to live like gods on earth while the rest of the other people suffer. That we can't be equal as humanity. That you have to be able to accept that we can be equal as a people. We don't have to be one on top of the other. I'm better than you. Ha ha! Look at what I got and you don't. What is the purpose? We can cost $500 to produce a car. Hey, let's say one day I wake up, I want to wear this type of clothes. I want to wear, so and so over there that loves fashion designers, just putting these out like crazy. They're great at doing what they do. I want to wear this today. I'm gonna go get it over here. I want to drive this today. That's cool. That's the newest thing out. because then it eliminates the jealousy and the envy and the hate and the greed. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need to get on. We're so brainwashed and immersed with this concept that there's scarcity, and that, I don't know, I could go on forever, but this will be the beginning of the conversation. I would love people to be able to conversate and to be able to you know, talk to me, message, let's if you like what I'm saying, if you think that this is, if we can start a pathway, really, it only takes one spark to light a fire. It only takes one spark to light a fire. All I'm trying to do is, I've held my tongue for years. This is the way I see it in myself. I'm an old soul at heart. This is how I see it, and I'm not saying this is how you have to see it, like I was saying. But I think that I hope that instead of keeping my mouth shut and not being able to, truly express myself and how I see the world, and this goes for everybody, then how can we really have the ideas out there, to be able to say, hey, you know what, I see the way. There might be several different opinions, and people might say, you know what, I agree with so and so. That's how we should do it. At least offer the solutions and give people the free will to be able to agree, disagree, or have debate. That's at least a start. That is at least a start. Rate, subscribe, do all that good stuff, you know what I mean? But more than that, I just want to engage with humanity and be able to open this discussion and the possibilities at least. Let's at least open the possibilities up, because really, there doesn't have to be a whole all-out war for this to happen. This just has to be a revolution in the mind, and be able to come to at least some common ground, and be able to open the debate for those who are deep thinkers, like me, for example. I ain't trying to toot my horn or nothing like that. I'm just saying, I have a lot on my mind, and I care about humanity. I was always seen as rebellious or mean or angry. It's not that. What is the root cause of that is because I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, and because I love people generally, because I love people, and I want to see better that can be misinterpreted. Some of the people who probably labeled as this or labeled as that, it was probably inherently because they had love for the world and, for people, for humanity, that they wanted to change it. And sometimes I'm perceived as angry all the time at the world. I'm angry at the things that are going on in the world, yes, but it doesn't make me a bad person to where, I'm a threat or this and that. I just want to be able to change the way that we live for me, myself, my family, and future generations. There's just no need for this anymore. We've gone too far. It's time to change, man. Real talk, man. So I'm gonna end it right here. Just subscribe. I'm gonna try to make other videos when my mind's right. But I'll mention one more thing too. The judicial system, for example, is a way of leeching off of us as well. You know what I'm saying? It is like corporate welfare, because you have the same thing. Is they're prospering off, they're living great while they're prospering off our lives. You know what I mean? Through the prison system and through telling you, hey, they're the enforcers saying you have to live. Oh, you made a mistake. You smoked. You should be in jail. You have to pay me this amount of money. Because it's going into saying you have to live the way that I tell you to live. You have to see things the way that I see things, and that's the problem. That is the problem right now. So let's just work on solutions. Let's work on spreading the word, knowledge, wisdom. You know what I mean? Spirituality. You don't have to be religious. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I'm like a lot of people. I'm seeking truth. I don't claim to know everything. I'm seeking the answers. But we got to at least be able to be in a position where we can, be able to explore life on our own and make our own mistakes and whatnot. We should be free on this earth. We don't own anything. We're just here temporarily. You know what I mean? This is the human experience. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to build, not destroy. All right? That's it. Signing out.